Hello everyone, my name is James Pike, and today I'm going to talk about vehicles and their fuel mileage and some helpful tips on if you're in the market for buying a new vehicle. Today everyone's concerned with the economy and especially fuel prices and how much they can stretch their dollar on their car. So first we're going to review some fuel mileage on the regular gas cars or automobiles, and then we're going to look at alternative vehicles. And then lastly, I'm going to share some information I've found on the web that can help people decide on which cars to get. Some helpful tips and informational websites. So let's get started. First off, we have our fuel mileage by class. We found this on cars.com, and you can see on your subcompacts what fuel mileage you get: 29 city, 40 highway, and also your Honda Civic and smart cars, you can see what they get. And midsize Hyundai Elantras getting 40 on the highway, it's rated. And your large cars, almost 30, about 35, and your wagon Kia Soul is 29 to 36 on the highway. And then we also have some other cars that, like pickups, you can see the small Tacoma and the Ford F-150, what they're getting. And your minivan, Mazda out there, their minivan is getting 28 miles to a gallon. And then your Chevy Equinox is getting good fuel mileage. And then I put some work vehicles up there, those who are interested in your work vehicles. You can see that your Sprinter's getting between 17 and 23. And your Chevrolet van, your big work cargo van, is getting between 14 and 17. And then next I wanted to show you some alternative vehicles. They're getting pretty good fuel mileage. Your alternative cars are your hybrids, which are gas and electric. They use both. And then your diesels are alternative fuel. And then your electric vehicles that are strictly run on electric. So you can see that your Toyota and your Honda are your main hybrids that are out there, and they're getting in the 40s and 50s fuel mileage. And these vehicles, just wanted to mention that the faster you go in these vehicles, the worse the fuel mileage is. So you have to account for that if your driving habits are a little bit to where you like to go a little bit faster. These cars will get good fuel mileage, but they're going to decrease as you drive them faster. Your SUV, your Ford Escape hybrid, gets 34 in the city, 31 on the highway. And then your Lexus, you can see it gets 30 to 28. Then your pickups, Chevrolet makes a hybrid truck which gets 20 to 23 mileage in the city and the highway. And the next thing I wanted to show you was some other vehicles. We're going to go to the diesels, and you'll see that VW cars, Volkswagen cars, and your Audi are getting 31, 30 in the city, and then in the highway they're getting 40s. And then your SUVs, the VW and the Mercedes, you can see their mileage here. And then we're going to go to the electric. This electric looks pretty incredible. This electric Mitsubishi i is rated the greenest. It gets 126 miles per charge in the city and then on the highway. And also Ford is making an electric car that gets 110 on its charge. And so you have to remember though, these cars are run on electric, so you have to plug them in for a certain amount of time. So you have to account for how much electric your house is charging them. So it's going to make your electric bill on your house go up. So it's just like putting gas in, you have to pay something. And I wanted to show you this information. You can go to www.cars.com, and it will show you the best gas mileage by vehicle class, which I went over. Each different class has cars that are rated differently. And it also shows you the best mileage for hybrids, diesels, and electric vehicles. And you can also go to fueleconomy.gov, and you can compare fuel estimates for all vehicles. And then if you want to know how much something actually costs, this website here, Edmunds.com, you can find the MSRP or manufacturer suggested retail price of any vehicle. So you can, and I'm going to show you something that's really interesting, how you can compare what vehicles cost by what kind of mileage they get. So will a car actually save you money? these hybrid cars, they seem like they get great fuel mileage, but will they actually save your dollars? So we have an efficiency cost rating formula out there on cars.com, which you take your combined city highway mileage, which is you take your city and highway mileage, you combine them, and then you divide by 2. That gives you your combined. And then you divide that by your MSRP, your manufacturer's suggested retail price, and you multiply that by 1,000, and that gives you an efficiency rating. So you'll see right here, your compact cars, your efficiency ratings are pretty high. Your Mitsubishi I, based on what it cost, was 3.87. And your hybrids, if you like hybrids, you have your hybrids out here, your efficiency rating. And then your trucks, I wanted to compare the truck Chevrolet Silverado, your hybrid has a rating of 0.53, but your non-hybrid Ford actually has a better rating because of the cost of the vehicle. And we're going to do a couple of examples. So I'm going to do a couple of examples and show you how you can tell. So remember, our efficiency rating, our combined mileage, over our base MSRP times the 1,000. So let's compare our Chevy Equinox SUV has a rating of 1.14. We get that by combining our mileage and then multiply it by 2. You get 27, and you divide it by the cost of the vehicle, the MSRP, and your rating is 1.14. Compare that to a Mercedes-Benz diesel. You have almost the same mileage, 27.24, but the MSRP is much higher. So your rating is much less. See the rating here? You have 1.14 for a gasoline powered compared to 0.46 for an actual diesel, which is the alternative, supposed to be better. And then we're going to do one more, which is a truck. We have the Chevrolet Hybrid, which you have 21.5 is your fuel, and then your cost of the vehicle is $39,640, and your rating is 0.54. Which is good fuel mileage for a truck, but then you compare it to a Ford F-150 run on regular gas, it gets 20, and then your cost, you can see, is a little bit lower, so your rating is actually better on your gas. So I just wanted to show everyone how this formula works. It'll help you determine, if this car is actually more bang for your buck or not, because you're going to be driving it for a long time usually. Keep the car for several years, and you'll want to know if you're actually saving money by buying an alternative vehicle. So that's it for today. I wanted to share some information on new cars, what kind of fuel mileage they get, and your alternative vehicles, and what kind of fuel mileage they can get, and then some ways to compare